Conductor Robert Franz says a good melody captures our attention.
And then it moves you through time. Music is architecture in time. If you engage in the moment with what you're listening to, you do lose a sense of the time around you.
How we experience time. That's on the TED Radio Hour from NPR.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers. And we're broadcasting this week from the Department of Milestones here in Car Talk Plaza. And my brother will begin to explain
we did pass a very major milestone this week, and it was very painful, I understand. No, actually, it wasn't that kind of a milestone. We have to explain a little bit. We drive these test cars. We call them test cars. What are they really?
They're provided to us by the manufacturers like GM, Chrysler.
Right, in the hope that we might find something good to say about them, which hardly ever happens. But once in a while we do. But we have these cars that we drive. And naturally, I have to drive it, and my brother has to drive it, and Berman has to drive it.
Why he has to drive that, we don't know.
Don't know why.
He's somehow in the loop, and we can't get him out.
He's in the loop. So at some point, we have to, there were 3 cars that we will have for a couple of weeks or a week or whatever it is. So I'll drive it for a few days, and I'll give it to my brother. I'll swap with my brother. My brother swaps with Doug, and we swap back and forth. And the whole plan, over all these years, and we've been doing this for a dozen years or so, the whole plan is to when we get the cars, they come with, of all things, a full tank of gas. So the idea is that you drive the car as much as possible so that when you swap it with the next guy, it's got no gas in it.
Even if it means leaving it idling in front of your house all night.
And, of course, everyone is trying to do this, and we're always trying to see who can give it to the next guy with the least amount of gas.
So last week after the show, Dougie says to me, would you like to swap cars? And I say, sure, Doug, what have you got? He says, I have a RAV4.
Mm-hmm. Is there any gas in it? That's always the question.
Any gas? Mm-hmm. And he says, of course there's gas in it. So
I should mention that some cars that you get will actually, with the little computer thing they have, will tell you how many miles to go before empty. And usually, it says 360 or some such stuff. And we have actually got it down to I remember once it was a Lincoln that Dougie gave to you, and it said 1.
Yes, and it was flashing.
It was flashing. Lights were flashing. And luckily, there was a gas station 0.8 miles away, and evidently you coasted in there, and that was good.
Well, on this given day, he gives me the keys to this car. I give him the keys to the Avalon that I'm driving. He runs to the car, jumps in, without even putting on his seatbelt, with papers flying in the wind. He zooms away.
Yeah, you know that you're in trouble when he does that.
I get in the car, and the gas needle doesn't move. The low fuel light is on, and I'm banging the dashboard, figuring it couldn't be this bad.
Right.
Knowing there's a gas station just about a half a mile away, I begin my journey to the gas station.
Yeah, and it's downhill to that gas station.
For the most part, except the little ramp that leads up to where the pumps are.
Yeah.
I didn't make it. As I approach the ramp, I have to stop for a car coming out of a side street.
Oh, that's what
I re-engage the clutch. It stalls. I figure I stalled it.
Mm-hmm.
I go to start it. It won't start.
No. They don't start without gas.
It's tough. I call the guys from the gas station, push me in.
So this is the very first time in 12 years or so that someone has actually run out of gas. And I think it's a time to end this little game.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
On. Well, no. I mean, we've reached...
No.
No.
Trust me, I'll let you know when it's about to end.
I have to say that it took great courage on Doug's part. Because don't forget, in order for him to give it to you with so little gas in it that you couldn't go another half mile, he had to get here with fumes.
I understand.
It took a tremendous amount of courage.
At great personal risk.
He pulled this off. Well, it wasn't really a lot of risk because he just left it running in the garage.
Anyway, if you'd like to talk to us, our number is 888-CAR-TALK. That's 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, I'm calling from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
And who are you?
My name is Shanta Ness.
Shanta.
Yes,
That's
Shanta.
Shanta.
that's it.
What a sweet little name that is.
Thanks.
And from whence does the name Shanta come?
It's actually a Sanskrit name from
Sure.
India.
It's Indian, of course.
Yes, it
Absolutely.
means peace.
Peace.
Yeah, I've been very lucky to have such a nice name.
Shanta. You know, I was just the other day, speaking of Indians, I was bemoaning the fact that we haven't heard from Arup Gupta, who has to have had the most mellifluous name. You may not remember this guy. I don't know if you've ever listened to the show before.
Yes,
but
I have.
a while ago, we had a caller whose name was, are you ready? Arup Gupta.
That's an excellent Indian name.
I mean,
is.
it's
It's about as
it's a
excellent as
mantra.
they come.
It's a mantra, Arup Gupta.
Arup Gupta, yeah.
Phew, wow. So now
Right.
Shanta
And
will
Arup
be next.
Arup
Shanta.
Gupta in Hindi means broken down Chevy. Anyway, Shanta, what can we do for you?
Well, I have an 86 Honda Accord LX, and it's got 165,000 miles on it. It's an excellent car. However, recently the idle has been going downward. That is, when I'm just stopped at a stoplight or idling still, it idles at about 750 to 1,000 RPMs, and I kind of have to keep my foot on the gas to keep it from stalling. And it was my understanding that this is not a terribly difficult thing to fix yourself.
Really?
I guess maybe I was
Really,
told
to what?
incorrectly.
Well, I mean,
That's all true.
Adjusting the idle is easy or not easy?
No,
Well-
adjusting the idle is relatively easy. It does require taking the air filter off, which is a little bit difficult, and finding the right screw to turn.
Yeah.
And once you've done that, you may temporarily solve the problem.
Yeah, the trouble with adjusting the idle is that it's like touching up the x-rays.
And there's no reason for that screw to have ever moved. So if the
Right.
idle used to be correct and it's now incorrect,
Right.
it's
Something else is going on.
something else
seems
is
to
going.
be sporadic as well. It's not always.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's worse. Yeah. Yeah.
That's even
Kiss
worse.
of death. Boy, it's been really nice talking to you.
I guess I'll go get a whole new car.
It's the trouble to see now, if it's sporadic and you increase the idle speed, then sometimes it's going to be
Maybe
idling too
high.
fast.
Right.
And the real question is, why is it doing this?
And if you had said that it's consistent, I might have said,
That
well,
would-
the timing could be off, and that could be a result of someone that timed it incorrectly, or a stretched timing belt could cause that same problem. But if it's sporadic, it leads me to the carburetor.
Okay.
Don't go there. As
I
they
don't
say,
think I would dare
don't
go
go
there.
there.
No, and this carburetor is the right age
Yeah.
to have a condition called low float level.
Okay.
Low float level is the result of a float that becomes saturated with gasoline, and as a result, it sinks too low and allows too much gasoline to enter from the float chamber into the body of the carburetor and causes minor flooding.
Okay.
And
Minor
that minor
flooding.
flooding can cause the thing to eventually stall out on you if the
Okay.
flooding becomes serious enough.
Right.
Which it's
Would there be other symptoms of the flooding, like typical flooding symptoms, like gas smell?
Yeah, gas smell. Oh, when it does flood,
spark plugs that might be getting sooty and black, but that's you wouldn't notice that.
Right.
and when it does begin to flood badly, it will be difficult to restart.
Okay.
So I don't think I'd worry. I mean, you got 165,000
I know.
miles on it,
Yeah,
and a new carburetor for this only cost about $800. But you can get this.
fast.
You can get this one rebuilt.
All right. I love your advice.
Great.
See you, Shanta.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi. 1-888-CAR-TALK or 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Yeah, this is Randy from San Diego, California. How you doing?
How you doing?
No Braciole out here.
No what?
No
No Braciole?
No Braciole.
What the heck kind of a place is that?
Got to go back to New York.
Braciole, for those that don't know, is an Italian delicacy, only served on Sundays.
Yeah. Maybe that's the trouble. Have you been looking for it during the week? I mean, all it is rolled up beef or something, right?
Right.
Yeah.
With stuff in the middle.
Yeah,
You
with some eggs and
breadcrumbs,
Breadcrumbs,
garlic,
olive oil,
hot
pepper,
olives,
hot
and
pepper.
and boiled eggs, hard-boiled eggs. Isn't that right,
That's
Randy?
it. Hard-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs. Then you roll the whole thing up, and you tie it with a piece of string, What do you do? You hang it around your neck for a couple of days and see if anyone talks to you.
And you're the only one there left to eat it.
And then you cook it somehow. I don't remember how you cook
put it in the sauce.
And then you slice it up, and you end up with kind of an interesting thing because you got beef rolled up. It's sort of like one of those ice cream pies, except there's garlic in it.
Right, same thing, only different.
Yeah. So thanks for calling with this culinary update.
He just wanted our recipe. So what's up, Randy?
I got a friend that's got a 1996 Toyota RAV4, one of those little four-wheel drives.
Yeah, we know it well. That's the very vehicle that my brother ran out of gas in.
Oh, I know it very well.
Yeah, so what about yours?
When you're driving it down the highway, it's an automatic. When you're driving down the highway and you let off the gas, it has about a 1 second surge, as though you applied the gas again, and then it goes away.
So you take your foot off the gas and it speeds up?
Yes. It's been to a dealer, and their comment was that it was in some sort of computer or something that controls the engine.
Well, I could believe that. It's what's likely to cause it, and I don't really know why they couldn't design this out, is that when you decelerate it, maybe for a moment, causing a rich mixture, which is being read by the oxygen sensor, which then sends a signal to the computer, which sends a signal to the throttle control, and actually trying to make the mixture correct, boost the idle speed for a second.
They said they changed it in the 97 model.
They may have.
The one we have is a 97.
But it's a stick shift.
And it certainly, if they tried to tell you they all do this one, that's not true because ours doesn't.
Well, his is an automatic and ours is a stick. I don't know how much of a difference that would make. But how annoying is it? I mean,
it's really annoying because it catches you by surprise. You have to be really aware of it.
It could be dangerous.
Yeah.
I think you have to insist that they fix it.
Yeah, one dealer said that it's part of it. One says no, I never heard of it before. So there's different opinions.
They're trying the old good dealer, bad dealer routine.
I mean, I think you have to insist that they do something about it. I'm sure they don't know what to do about it, but somebody does. Somebody knows what to do because if he was savvy enough to know that it doesn't do it in the 97s and it did it in the 96s, somebody knows what they did to make that not happen anymore. Yeah, I tell them you want it. Whatever they got, you want it.
You have to talk to, first of all, other RAV4 owners and see if theirs do the same thing.
Do you know if there's maybe like a chat group or a website or anything for RAV4 owners?
Well, you can go to our very website.
Yes.
And we have a section on our website called Second Opinion, where people who have the same car can discuss what they've done to it, what's happened to it. So if you drop a note there saying, I got this problem with a RAV4, does anyone else have it on a 96? Then you'll probably get hundreds, thousands, maybe 4 people to answer you. Yeah.
Right. Anyone that's listening to us that has a RAV4 that has this problem or doesn't have it, it'll be interesting to note which ones have it and which don't.
That's what I would do.
I appreciate the advice, and I am going to make a posting at your website and for the other owners.
Okay, great.
That's great advice.
And we'll send you a Braciole to make you happy.
Or a brochure, one or the other. See you, Randy.
See you.
Thanks again, guys.
Bye-bye.
Okay, it's time to find out if my brother remembers last week's puzzler. It was quasi-automotive, historic,
yes, master,
folkloric, challenging. Well, not really.
No.
It wasn't really.
The answer is I don't remember last week's puzzle.
You really don't?
Give me a hint.
I don't remember it either.
This message comes from Wise, the app for doing things in other currencies. With Wise, you can send, spend, or receive money across borders, all at a fair exchange rate. No markups or hidden fees. Join millions of customers and visit wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Tariffs, recessions, how Colombian drug cartels gave us blueberries all year long. That's the kind of thing the Planet Money podcast explains. I'm Sarah Gonzalez, and on Planet Money, we help you understand the economy and how things all around you came to be the way they are. Para que sepas. So you know. Listen to the Planet Money podcast from NPR.
Keeping up with the news can feel like a 24-hour job. Luckily, it is our job. Every hour on the NPR News Now podcast, we take the latest, most important stories happening, and we package them into 5-minute episodes so you can easily squeeze them in between meetings and on your way to that thing. Listen to the NPR News Now podcast. Now.
Politics is a lot these days. I'm Sarah McCammon, a co-host of the NPR Politics podcast, and I'll be the first to tell you what happens in Washington definitely demands some decoding. That's why our show makes politics as easy as possible to wrap your head around. Join us as we make politics make sense on the NPR Politics podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers. And as promised, here's the answer to last week's puzzler.
Well, what was the... Oh! I remember it now.
It was a movie puzzler.
Movie puzzler. I remember it now. This was a great puzzle.
Well, I don't think it was great.
How much email are we going to get on this?
A lot, I hope. Here's what I wanted to know in a nutshell. In what famous movie were a Ferrari and a Renault, or Renault, I'll say Renault,
Renault,
both featured? Now, I said I'm not just talking about passing shots. I'm talking about being featured.
Featured.
Both the Ferrari and a Renault were featured performers.
Yes.
In a movie that we've all heard of, and most of us have perhaps seen.
Almost everyone has seen it. Even Catherine Patouti-Ray, who is a mere child, thinks that this is one of the greatest movies ever made. And she's right.
It is. It is. It was a wartime movie.
It was. It was.
And it took place in Africa.
Yes, it did.
And the name of the movie is Casablanca.
Yes.
And the Renault and the Ferrari are not, in fact, cars.
No.
They are Louis Renault, who was the police captain of Casablanca.
Yeah.
And the owner of the Blue Parrot, I believe, Monsieur Ferrari.
See, actually, I thought when I saw the movie the other night that Peter Lorre's name in the movie was Bugatti.
No, that was Bull Feathers.
I thought there were 3 famous cars, a Ferrari, a Renault, and a Bugatti. But it turns out that his name was not Bugatti, but Ugardi.
Yeah, a Johnson, I think.
Or Johnson, yeah.
Hey, who's our winner, Tommy?
The winner is Kelly McCormick from Knoxville, Tennessee. And for having her correct answer chosen at random from among the thousands of other right answers that we got, Kelly is going to get one of our beautiful, magnificent 10th anniversary Car Talk t-shirts with our current slogan, celebrating 10 years of bad car advice. Congratulations, Kel. Good for you.
Good work. Anyway, we'll have a brand new puzzler coming up in the third half of today's show. So don't touch that dial. In the meantime, we'll take your calls at 888-CAR-TALK. That's 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello.
Yeah.
Paul from Irwin, Pennsylvania.
Irwin.
PA. Which end of PA are you from?
Southwestern PA. We're about 25 miles east of Pittsburgh.
East of Pittsburgh.
East. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I know where
okay.
you are.
Got it.
I don't have a problem yet, but it's only a matter of time.
All right, we'll make one for you.
I'll bet. Here's some background. In 1986, I bought a slightly used Buick Somerset. Now, it's got a 5-speed manual transmission. And I guess I'm easy on the clutch because I have 130,000 miles on it now with the original clutch.
Yeah.
And it's become a personal challenge to see how far I can make it go. Now, here's my dilemma.
Yeah.
I recently bought a used motorhome to explore the U.S. of A. after I retire. And I don't laugh yet. And I want to tow the...
You are pressing the limits, Paul. I mean, you got 130,000 miles out of a Somerset.
Yes.
Which is about double what you should have got.
That's what
and now
people
you
tell
want to
me.
hang a 10,000-pound motorhome on the back of it with a clutch that's got 130,000 miles
No,
on
I'm
it.
going to tow the Buick. I'm not going to tow the motorhome.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, all right. Oh, this
Anyway.
is not a trailer. It's a motorhome with an engine in it.
Yes.
Ah, I misunderstood.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, and I'm going to take the Somerset behind me to use as a jitney for local touring, but
Yeah.
I don't want to end up stranded in the middle of nowhere because the clutch finally decided to die.
So you want to know how to assess how much life the clutch has left.
Well, I took it to my mechanic to have that done,
Ah.
and he told me there's no way to do that. He said there's no access to the clutch for a visual inspection. And I says, can this be true?
Well,
I
you don't need to have a visual inspection. Did he mention the laying on of hands technique?
No, I don't think he's that good.
See? Yeah, well, you call the right guys.
Well, you can certainly tell if the clutch is already slipping. Did he try that?
Is this
the stall test?
Yeah, drive up to a utility pole and try to go.
Yeah.
I haven't done that. But is that the only way to test that?
Well, that's the only way to actually test, yes.
Oh.
And the test is you try to pull the motor home with the car. If you can
starting out in fifth gear.
For those that don't know, the stall test is simply you pull the car's front bumper up to some immovable object, like
your mother-in-law,
like a huge tree.
Yeah.
And then you put the thing in high gear, and you try to drive the thing away. You let the clutch out, and you give it
a lot of gas.
Give it as much gas as you can stand, and the engine should just, boom, stall right out.
Yes.
And if it doesn't stall right out, or if it takes a few seconds for it to stall out, then your clutch is beginning to slip. And if it doesn't stall it out even after many seconds, then your clutch is already slipping badly enough so that you should replace it.
And you won't make it home.
Uh-oh.
I mean, we can give you some clue. What kind of driving have you been doing for these last 12 years that you've owned this car?
Stop and go.
Stop and go.
Yeah.
Well, my philosophy about things like this is this clutch should have gone out at about 80,000.
Yeah.
The fact that it didn't means it's probably going to last forever.
Here we go with the
Are you with me,
the
Paul?
hands again.
See, now, I thought what he was going to say was, it's already gone far beyond what it should have gone.
That's right, and that's why.
And
that's why.
Wait a minute, that's not what I thought you were going to say. What I thought you were going to say, and therefore, it's ready to go.
It is.
Therefore, why wait? That's usually what you say. Why wait?
I've had an epiphany.
You would normally say, it's going to need a new clutch. You're going to wait until you break down someplace in Arkansas? Yeah,
no,
well,
don't you remember the guy that called us? I'm trying to remember his Dave from Bemidji.
Oh, Dave from Bemidji, yeah. Bemidji,
Minnesota.
And
he drove to the North Pole and back on a car that had 200,000 miles and
300.
He wasn't phased because he knew if it lasted that long, then it was going to last forever.
That it was charmed.
And your clutch ain't going to go either.
Well, that's good news.
I think so. Do the stall test, and don't forget the fallback position is you just tow the car
back
with the motor home.
That's a possibility.
So don't worry about it. I say I'm with my brother on this. I say just do it.
No,
Just
what's more likely to happen is that the hitch will let go, and that car will go fly. You'll be in Rocky Mountain National Park, and you'll say, Martha, I think the car is gone.
That would only happen if you were going up a long steep hill.
That's when it's going to happen.
That's the only time that would happen. So you can see it going all the way. You can see it in the rearview mirrors.
Paul, have a
to
great
mount the camcorder back there to catch that one.
Yeah. Have a great time and send us a postcard.
I'll send you several.
There you go.
That'll be great.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye. 1-888-CAR TALK or 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Monica from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hi, Monica from Minneapolis.
Hi.
What's shaking?
Well, I don't have a problem, but have an observation that has led me to inquire.
What?
Last week, it was pretty cold up here, really cold, like the coldest it's been so far. And everybody's cars were billowing lots and lots of exhaust when it gets that cold.
Sure.
Right. So I was sitting on the entrance ramp to the freeway in the morning with a whole bunch of other cars, and there was this minivan sitting right up in front of me to the left, and it was billowing exhaust. And every once in a while, like every 30 seconds, little smoke rings would spurt out of its exhaust pipe.
Cool.
And at first, I didn't quite believe what I saw, and I'm like, "What is that?" And I watched it again, and 6 or 8 smoke rings, pretty big smoke rings, would come popping out of the exhaust.
I've never seen that.
I've never seen it either, and I was wondering, how can this happen? Is this an automotive miracle that this car was spurting out smoke rings? Because when I was
No, this is a subliminal ad by R.J. Reynolds Tobacco.
Wow, that's cool.
When you're taught to blow smoke rings,
Yeah.
I thought you have to move your throat or your cheeks or your tongue. And
Sure, it's not easy to do that.
Right. What you need in order for your car to blow smoke rings is some kind of a shock wave in the system.
Ah.
So instead of having a constant or relatively constant flow of exhaust coming out the tailpipe,
You got to have a puff.
you need to have something that interrupts it for a second, like an engine miss.
Oh.
Okay, so if one of the spark plugs doesn't fire once in a while, you'll get a miss, which will stop the steady flow, and then when it does fire, you'll get a buildup of pressure.
Good, that's
and it'll be
very
just like
good.
that guy in Times Square on the billboard. Remember that billboard that was there forever and ever?
Isn't it there anymore?
The guy smoking a Camel cigarette.
Must be still there.
Blow smoke rings. No, I think they took it down in 1950. But I'm not sure. Anyway, I think that would explain it. But who knows?
That would explain it. And it's not smoke, by the way, Monica. It's actually water vapor.
Right.
Yeah, and other known carcinogens.
Right.
And unknown. Known and unknown. No, I like that. I like that. Boop, boop, boop. I'm going to try it.
Okay.
Wait a minute. My car would do it all the time. It's missing constantly.
I'm sure it does.
It's just got to be cold enough so that you can see it. That maybe that's why we don't see it all the time, because it's got to be 20 below.
Well, when it's 20 below, your car puts out the greatest amount of visible smoke because the steam that's being created in the cylinders is getting condensed back into water, eventually water, but in the process, water vapor.
Uh-huh.
So that's what you're seeing coming out the tailpipe is that water vapor. Right. And because the engines aren't completely warmed up, and hence their exhaust systems aren't completely warmed up, you're more likely to see it, I think, because engines will miss during the warm-up period.
Great. Well, cool. You answered my question.
Gee, thanks for calling, Monica.
First
You're
one
welcome.
today.
You're welcome.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, now before we get to the new puzzler, we have to take a short break.
What? We have to consult with our lawyers again?
No, they have to consult with us.
No.
But when we come back, you'll get the new, historic, folkloric, challenging, all those things. Interesting.
And long.
Long, yeah. Very long. Puzzling.
Look, we get it. When it comes to new music, there is a lot of it, and it all comes really fast. But on All Songs Considered, NPR's music recommendation podcast, we'll handpick what we think's the greatest music happening right now and give you your next great listen. So kick back, settle in, get those eardrums wide open, and get your dose of new music from All Songs Considered, only from NPR.
On Fridays, the 1A podcast is all about helping you cut through the info fog and get to what's important in the news. Close out the week with us on our Friday News Roundup. Hear from reporters who've been embedded with the biggest news of the week. Join us every week for the Friday News Roundup. Listen to the 1A podcast from NPR and WAMU.
Know that fizzy feeling you get when you read something really good, watch the movie everyone's been talking about, or catch the show that the internet can't get over? At the Pop Culture Happy Hour podcast, we chase that feeling 4 times a week. We'll serve you recommendations and commentary on the buzziest movies, TV, music, and more. From lowbrow to highbrow to the stuff in between, catch the Pop Culture Happy Hour podcast from NPR.
Fall in love with new music every Friday at All Songs Considered, that's NPR's music recommendation podcast. Fridays are where we spend our whole show sharing all the greatest new releases of the week. Make the hunt for new music a part of your life again. Tap into New Music Friday from All Songs Considered, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Ha! We're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers. And we're here to discuss, of course, cars, car repair, and the new puzzler. Now, yeah. I've had to use the same MO on this puzzler that I've used, maximum obfuscation, that I've used many times before. Okay. You may have to help me.
Yeah, I'll help you. I'll jump right in. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
Long ago, when he was just a lad, our erstwhile producer, Dougie Berman, had 3 girlfriends.
At the same time?
This is before he was married, I think.
No. Oh.
He had 3 girlfriends, and he would juggle them, so to speak. On Monday, he would visit one. On Tuesday, another. On Wednesday, the third one. And then he'd repeat the process. Thursday, he'd visit number 1 again, and then number 2, et cetera, et cetera. And each time he would make one of these visits, he would drive his car. But before he could drive the car, because it was a junker, he had to go through a little ritual. He would open the hood, and he'd have to top up the coolant because he leaked coolant.
Yeah.
He had to top up the power steering fluid. That leaked too. He had to fill up the oil because he was burning oil like crazy. Blue smoke out of the tailpipe.
Yeah. Brake fluid?
And no, I don't think he needed any brake fluid.
Transmission fluid? No.
Are you helping or hindering?
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to obfuscate as much as possible.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
Closes the hood, drives to girlfriend number one's house, and he follows the same procedure every time. He pulls into the driveway, and then he drives as far into the woods as he can, so the other girlfriends won't see his jalopy, which is quite distinguishable.
Yeah.
And he does this for girlfriend number 1, and then on Tuesday for girlfriend number 2, and on Wednesday, girlfriend number 3. But when he pulls into girlfriend number 3's driveway, an interesting thing happens. Fire erupts under the hood. The thing bursts into flames. Wow. At which point he jumps out of the car, removes his pants, and beats out the flames.
Yeah.
And then when the thing has finally subsided, he stashes the car, goes to her house, and tries to explain to her parents why he's coming to meet her with no pants on. So this goes on and on. Girlfriend number 1, no problem. Number 2, no problem. But every time he visits girlfriend number 3, same problem. The car catches fire under the hood. He can't explain it. He takes this as an omen.
Yeah.
And dumps the other 2 girlfriends and keeps girlfriend number 3. Figures that any girl that can set his pants on fire is going to be worth sticking around with.
Yeah.
Right?
I go with it. I'm with it.
So now you have all of the facts, as obfuscated as they may be.
Yeah.
What is it embedded here in this little narrative?
So the question is, how long is it going to take his wife to find out about girlfriend number 3? Is that the question?
So to speak.
That's the question. I got it. I say she's going to find out about 10 minutes after we leave the studio.
So what is it about his visit to girlfriend number 3, knowing what you know, and only what you know, that causes this conflagration under the hood and ultimately in his pants? So if you think you know the answer or just have nothing better to do at work, mail your answer to Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square. You may notice a similarity between this and the other address that I've given previously.
Yes, they are
in the show.
similar, yes.
Cambridge.
Our fair city.
MA 02238. Or, of course, you can email us your answer from our website, cartalk.msn.com. Just click on the Talk to Car Talk section. And if we choose your correct answer at random, from among all the correct answers, you'll get one of our new Car Talk T-shirts celebrating 10 years of bad car advice. 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Kim, and I'm in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Who? When?
What village?
Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm at the University of Virginia.
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville.
Yeah.
And are you a professor or are you still trying to graduate?
Well, I'm a graduate student here.
Still trying to graduate.
Yeah, in art history.
Oh, Kim.
That's probably why I'm having difficulty with my car.
Do you do any, what do you call it, OJT?
On-the-job training there.
On the job, yeah, I teach as well.
So you do. So, I mean, they do actually try to prepare you for
the real world
and getting a job and all that stuff.
Right, for getting a job in art history.
Yeah, so you know the important phrases like, would you like a chocolate shake with that or large fries?
I knew you guys were going to give me a hard time about
that. Oh, yeah.
Of course. I mean, gee whiz.
Boy, we're brutal, aren't we?
Yeah, are you guys going to give me a break here? Or
yeah,
what?
we'll give you a right answer.
Your break. What's up, Kim?
I have an engine overheating problem.
Ah.
It's a 1988 Dodge Omni with 157,000 plus miles on it at this point.
A miracle.
It's had a new radiator put in. It's had a new radiator valve put in. And it actually was okay for a while after the radiator was put in until I turned on the heat. And when I started to turn on the heat, I noticed the engine gauge going up. And as soon as I turned off the heat, it went back down.
Woo!
So I had a new thermostat put in Then it happened again, and there was a new cooling sensor put in, and it's still doing it.
Whether the heat's on or not.
Whether the heat's on or not, it seems to be worse with the heat on a little bit, but it still goes up pretty quickly.
How quickly does it go up? Let's assume the gauge is at the 1/4 position. The car is in the middle of warming up.
Okay.
You turn the heat on.
If I turn that heat on full blast, it'll be less than 5 minutes before it's almost up to orange.
Okay.
Boy, it's so counterintuitive.
Really?
Well, that's what people do, for example, when they're driving in the desert and their car begins to overheat, they turn the heat on. And they sit there and swelter while the engine benefits from having this heater core introduced into the loop, and the engine actually will begin to run cooler.
Really?
I mean, this whole thing is so bizarre that I have to question you, and I have to question your veracity. How sure are you that turning on the heat really does make it heat up more?
I'm positive. I've watched it.
Well, it may be coincidental.
Well, but don't forget, it might have been going up anyway.
Well,
so
but
the reverse. How sure
But then she
are
claimed,
you?
I believe, that when she turned off the heat,
when you turned off the heat, it goes back
It
down.
comes right back down to where it should be.
Did it plummet?
It plummets.
Is it possible that when you turn the heat off that you also do something else? Like you stop.
No.
Or you go faster. Or you get out of traffic.
No, because no.
Wow. Then we're going to have to believe you.
Yeah.
And
it was incumbent upon us to make sure of this.
Right.
More importantly, what?
We're going to have to make something up. Well, I can only tell you this.
Okay.
So far. I may think of something more convincing in a minute. But we had I remember some years ago, we had a similar case with another Dodge Omni or some vehicle like it.
Mm-hmm.
And inexplicably, his temperature gauge would go bonkies. And we tried everything. We took the radiator out and had it tested. We put a new thermostat in. We changed the hoses, thinking that one of the hoses was collapsing.
Yeah.
And finally, in desperation, we removed the cylinder head and checked it for cracks, and in doing so, and finding none, replaced what evidently was a leaky head gasket.
A leaky head gasket.
And that solved the problem. Well, I don't know if it solved it. We never saw the customer again. Is that the equivalent of solving the problem?
I'd say so,
I'd
yeah.
say so.
Otherwise, you'd have seen it.
Or his
him
lawyer.
or his lawyer. Yeah.
Well, that might be why I smell antifreeze smell. I
was heading in that direction. My next question was, have you been losing coolant?
Yes.
I love
now,
this.
and I didn't think of that before, but yes, because I've had to refill the overfill reservoir.
Okay, I've got it.
You've solved it.
I have got it.
Go ahead.
You are going to love. I could kill you. This is going to be so good. Here's what's going on.
Get it over with, because the longer...
No, even you are going to love. You're going to say, how the hell did you figure that out?
The longer you applaud yourself, the harder the humiliation is going to be to accept.
Get this.
I'm ready.
Okay.
You have a leak such that it is squirting.
Oh, this is the most bogus.
That you have a hot coolant is squirting. Are you ready for this?
On the
temperature gauge.
Oh no!
And it's underneath the dashboard. I mean, this came to me unencumbered by the thought process. I could see it in a vision, like Edgar Casey. I'm telling you, take this to your mechanic.
Okay.
Tell him to look underneath the dashboard. He will find a squirting leak.
Okay.
Wow.
Great.
Kim, if this is right,
I hope this is right.
I will never hear the end of it.
I have to keep the car till I graduate.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, start loading up on courses.
And just make sure that you keep replacing the coolant, by the way.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
This is it.
Okay.
Kim, we will have you back, I guarantee you, on Stump the Chumps.
Okay, we'll see if it works.
And you are going to be so embarrassed at the things that you've been saying to me all these years.
Well, for Kim's sake, I hope so.
Oh, I love you guys.
Good
Don't
luck,
say that.
Kim.
Thanks a lot.
See ya.
See you
Bye-bye.
later.
Jeez.
you know how when you know you're right, I have absolutely no fear. I know.
Can we make sure that we save this? Can we archive this portion of the show? Can we get the video cameras in here? Can we get this on some kind of videotape?
I could actually see. I could see the stuff squirting.
Okay. Well, it's happened again. You've vaporized yet another hour listening to Car Talk. Our esteemed producer is Doug the Subway Fugitive, not a slave to fashion Berman. Our associate producer and Dean of the College of Automusicology is Ken Babyface Rogers. Our assistant producer is Catherine Stewie, as in Oyster Stewie, Ray. And our engineer is Jonathan Marston. Our technical, spiritual, and menu advisor is Mr. John S. Lawler. Our public opinion pollster is Paul Murky of Murky Research, assisted by statistician Margin of Error. Our director of new product repair is Warren T. Myfoot, assisted by our customer care representative, Haywood Jabuzzoff. Our staff butler from the Car Talk Mumbai division is Mahatma Coat. And our inventory manager is Mandalit Del Barcode. Our evasive driving instructor is Vera Abruptly. Our junkyard manager is Ricardo Dismantelban. Our director of moral support is You the Man. And our Leo Tolstoy biographer is Warren Peace, author of Leo Tolstoy by Warren Peace. Our chief counsel from the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe is Hugh Lewis Dewey, known among the yellow snow in Harvard Square as Huey Louie Dewey. Thanks so much for listening. We're Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers. And remember, don't drive like my brother or my sister.
Especially my sister.
We'll be back next week. Bye-bye.
And now, with a very important announcement, here is Car Talk Plaza's chief mechanic, Mr. Vincent Q. Gumbats.
Hey, all right, now, if you just want a copy of this week's Car Talk show, which is show number 5, here's what you got to do, all right?
Now, are you going to give out the phone
No,
number?
I'm going to join the U.S. curling team in the Winter Olympics, you dope. The number is 1-888-CAR-JUNK. That's 1-888-227-5865.
And if you wanted other Car Talk memorabilia, shall we call it, like tapes, CDs, T-shirts, would people call the very same number, Vincent?
No, you call Roto, Stink, and Ruta. Of course you call the same number, 1-888-CAR-JUNK. Or you can get stuff through the online Shameless Commerce division at cartalk.msn.com.
Vinny, I'm beginning to detect some hostility here. You really have to learn to express your feelings a little bit better.
Express this, pal. Car Talk is a production of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe and WBUR in Boston.
And even though the foreign desk holds a minor work stoppage whenever they hear us say it, this really is NPR, National Public Radio.
When Malcolm Gladwell presented NPR's Throughline podcast with a Peabody Award, he praised it for its historical and moral clarity. On Throughline, we take you back in time to the origins of what's in the news, like presidential power, aging, and evangelicalism. Time travel with us every week on the Throughline podcast from NPR.
On The Indicator from Planet Money podcast, we're here to help you make sense of the economic news from Trump's tariffs.
It's called, in game theory, a trigger strategy, or sometimes called grim trigger, which sort of has a cowboy-esque ring to it.
To what exactly a sovereign wealth fund is. For insight every weekday, listen to NPR's The Indicator from Planet Money.
Are you one of the half of Americans who say money management is part of their self-care routine? Or one of the 41% of young adults who think financial well-being means having multiple streams of income? On It's Been a Minute, I'm investigating how young people are turning to OnlyFans, sports betting, and Klarna to stretch every last dollar. That's all month long on the It's Been a Minute podcast from NPR.